Just kidding.
Hello and welcome to the 4 a.m. show. This is the Mad City Podcast. I am your Mad City host, Patrick Kempfer. It has been a really long day. It's been one of those days that's sort of like, this day bled in from the day before because there was not much sleep. I tried to go to sleep this morning, yesterday morning, and I've talked before on here about how it becomes sort of challenging once the sunlight starts creeping through my window. I have a hard time keeping my eyes closed, so it's like a race, kind of. Like, can I get to sleep before the sun comes up? And we just had like the daylight savings thing, which I think should... Does that make it get brighter early? Oh. I don't know. I can't remember. My brain's not really working. Either way. I lost the race, and I was awake until like, I don't know, like 8 a.m., 8 something. Finally went to sleep and had my alarm set, ready for, I don't know, like 1 or 2. However, my brain was having none of that. And I slipped into this dream where I was somehow concerned that I might have slept in. I dreamt that I overslept and that the time was 5 o'clock. So then I was questioning, wait, is it really 5 o'clock? Is it really 5 p.m.? Did I oversleep? Am I 2 hours late for work? And I was like, And I'm not even fucking bullshitting. This is how I communicate with myself in my dreams. I'm laying there and I'm kind of debating with myself, do I want to open my eyes and sit up and look at the clock, knowing that if I do and I'm wrong, then I'm probably going to be stuck awake and end up being overtired. But if I'm right, then I'm like, fuck, then I gotta get up and make phone calls and get dressed and go to work. And the anxiety portion of this is there's an additional bit because I was late yesterday, because of that happened yesterday. Like I dozed off before I was supposed to leave for work, and because I woke up too early, and I guess I don't know, my brain was afraid that it was gonna happen again. So in an effort, it like showed me like this scenario of like this possibility of like what could happen if that happened again. So it was like, this time I was like, no, you better fucking sit up and look at the clock, dumb motherfucker. So I did, and sure enough, it wasn't even 11 o'clock yet. So I got like 2 hours of sleep, and then I was, so I sat up and I'm like, oh, shit. All right, well, do I want to try to go back to sleep, or should I just power through? And I saw that I had some messages. Some were from people that I was talking to the night before, and so it was kind of like it was like a sort of one of those like continuation things, where like you're messaging with somebody like as you're dozing off, and so you just sort of pick up the conversation again like hours later. And then there was a voicemail, and I was like, well, who the fuck is calling me? It didn't appear to be a spam call. It wasn't somebody calling to tell me that my the warranty on my car was about to run out, which would be terrible because that car that I bought 6 years ago, that Nissan, the one that got repoed and that I don't have anymore, and I, for whatever reason, still, by someone's logic, still owe money on, even though I don't have the car and can never get it back. They still expect me to pay that off. I've never understood that, and I never will, which is why I refuse to pay the money, because just on principle, I just think it's illogical. I will go to court and say that to a judge. I'll be like, I refuse to pay this lien based on the principle that it is completely illogical. I don't give a fuck about contracts. I don't give a fuck about these documents. I do not have ownership of this car. Now, if there was like the incentive to, like, if I paid it off, I get the car back, then sure, that would make sense. But to not ever get the car, that's fucking stupid. Like, who came up with this idea? I can't appreciate it. I can't respect it. It's silly to me. It's like paying medical bills. Anyway, moving on. So I got this voicemail, and it wasn't a number that I recognized, and I'm really generally not in the, I'm usually not one for jumping up and listening to voicemail. I never listen to my voicemails. In fact, let's just be like a disclaimer or whatever, just a news flash to everybody. If you ever call me and I don't answer the phone, don't leave a voicemail, because I almost never listen to my voicemails. I really don't. Because most of the time it's fucking bot calls. It's somebody calling about some election thing that I don't care about, or it's somebody, not that I don't care about elections, but I don't need you calling me to tell me I'm perfectly aware. Or I get phone calls from people in Mexico all the time. I have no idea what this is about. I get calls just people wanting, mortgages and shit. It's fucking stupid. So or, I have this terrible, like, this phobia, kind of, that, I'm going to answer the phone, and it's going to be, like, just terrible news, and I'm going to have to hear bad news over the phone, which has happened, but, honestly, it's better to get a phone call and hear something, something tragic has happened, like, from a person, like, in a phone call, than to have to read it on Facebook, or, get a text message or something. But yeah, I don't know, anyway, I never really listen to voicemail, so if you call me and I don't answer, don't leave a voicemail. Just, if it goes to voicemail, hang up, and then, like, call back again if it's urgent, like you really need to talk to me, or just fucking text me. Be like, hey, call me, I need to talk to you. Or just, tell me what the fuck is going on. I don't know, man. Communicate. People that don't text nowadays, is just like, either you're an idiot, or a boomer, or you're just trying to sell me something. Or you really have to talk to me. And this morning, I saw that there was a voicemail. So I listened to it. Because why not, right? And it was a friend of my mom's. Her name is Cindy. She lives in my mom's building, down the hall from her. And I could really only barely make out what she was saying in the recording. I could hear that she said her name. I could tell she was crying. She said something along the lines of, "Hello, Pat. This is Cindy, your mom's friend. I need you to call me." And she was crying. And I'm just gonna tell you, my fucking heart sank. Because I thought, oh shit, she's calling about my mom. Excuse me while I step to the cold for a smoke. So, yeah, I jumped to the possibility that, okay, she's calling about my mom, and that's why she was upset, that's why she called, that's why she didn't give me any details. And of course I asked myself, well, why no details? And why was it her? Of all the people, there are people that also live in my mom's building that are closer to her, that could have called. But then again, I was thinking, well, maybe they are, tied up in some sort of situation, speaking to a healthcare professional, or perhaps they're traumatized and too emotional to react in a way that would be, they don't feel capable of communicating to me that something terrible has happened to my mother. And and of course, it could be like, maybe she hurt herself, she slipped. Maybe she had a fucking heart attack and died. Or maybe she's in the hospital. I don't know. There really wasn't like a, so much of an image in my head of like what exactly had happened, but it was like, it was this feeling though of like, oh my God, what am I going to do? And I started to kind of panic a little, and I did this thing that I sometimes do in crisis situations. I got up and I went into the bathroom and I splashed cold water on my face and looked myself in the mirror, and I kind of played out in my head what would happen next. And I mean, like, I went all in it. Let me tell you, like, making the, calling back, calling, I'd have to call my work and let them know that I wasn't going to be in, contacting my brother, figuring out a way to get to my mom's house to, find paperwork that she has stashed away for me, in the event of such an occasion. And, I should jump back. Actually, before I did any of this, I texted my lady friend Aaliyah and said, hey, I might have to call you very soon. I said that I got this voicemail from my mom's friend who was crying, telling me to call her back. I don't know yet, but it's and Aaliyah is, we're the same age, so we have like a world perspective point of view on this. So it's kind of like, without even saying, she kind of would know exactly. It's like people our age, with parents our age, would say that, this is the big one kind of situation. So, like, this is the big moment, like the call. It's like people, when they, reach, I guess, whatever it is I'm in, middle age, like, tend to have, like, one of two, if not both, kind of typical situations, like, the big calls are, like, your parents are dead, or your children are pregnant, or something like that. It's like you're either going to become a grandparent or your parents are dead. Those two life-changing situations can happen, and you tell yourself, going through life that you're gonna, that you're prepared for this or that, but you don't really know how you're gonna react to a situation until you're in it. And I don't know, today I got like a sneak peek into how I would fucking react to that situation. And I have to tell you, I was uncomfortably reassured. Because I knew exactly how I was going to go through the rest of my day. I had it all kind of fucking mapped out. My hands were not shaking. My heart was pounding. I mean, there was like a heavy knot, in my stomach, and then I was like on the verge of tears. but I was focused, you know? I was accepting. You know, and that's really telling, kind of just about where I'm at, you know, like my spiritual condition. Because in none of my, what, you know, my would have been plans for the day didn't include like, oh man, I'm gonna have to go get a bottle of this, or I'm gonna have to get a bag of that. You know, like I'm not gonna be able to make it if I can't get this fucking fixed. You know, like I'm gonna need a drink. Nothing like that even crossed my mind. In fact, quite the opposite. And I'm not like, woohoo, yay. It's like, yeah, yay for me. It's not like that. It's just remarkable, you know? Because, I mean, like, something like this had happened like a year ago, fucking forget about it. I would have been wasted just, you know, the miscommunication of that, you know, would be reason to go and, oh my god, I can't handle this. I'd be devastated just by the possibility. And not to say that I wouldn't be devastated, period, but devastated, yes, but not wasted. Getting wasted is something that I would do. I mean, that's something that I would choose to do. That would be my part. You know, like that's something that I would bring upon myself. You know, the being a part of that, you know, the transition of someone's life into death. That's you know, that's a devastating thing to witness, to partake in, to experience. But it doesn't have to be a waste. I don't have to waste it. I waste it by trying to slide through it all fucked up. Not giving validity and merit to my responsibility in a situation like that. Not giving the respect that my mother or anyone would deserve in that instance, you know, the attention. So yeah, just as I was about to call my mom's friend back, my phone rang, and it was my mom's number, and I was like, oh shit, this must be like my brother, or like, you know, my mom's girlfriend calling me, you know, like this is somebody else calling, like definitely, like now they're really trying to reach me. And I was like, oh my god, and I swallowed my heart and I answered the phone. Hello. And it was my mom's voice. And I'm like, yeah? Yeah, hey. Did you get that call from Cindy? I was like, I sure did. Yeah, her dog is dying, and she wants you to help her with a GoFundMe, you know, to help make a GoFundMe. I was like, oh my fucking god. Oh my fucking god. Oh my fucking god. It was all I could do to not lose my shit. I was like, yeah, well, okay, hold on just one second. I put the phone down and I was like, I had to fucking catch my breath, man. Really, I had to catch my breath. It was intense. It was a really, really intense moment. I mean, it was like being whipped around like on like a roller coaster or one of those Tokyo drift cars or some shit. It was like fucking crazy, man. I was like, oh my god, what the fuck just happened? Just, wow, spun me. And I told my mom, I was like, man, I'm so glad to fucking hear your voice. I fucking love you. She's like, what's the matter? I'm like, I thought she was calling about you. She's like, what? Oh. She's like, aw. She's like, oh, that's so sweet. No, oh. She was touched, obviously, but she's like, no, it's about the dog. I'm like, well, I'm glad. I mean, I'm sorry about the dog, but Jesus Christ, I'm so glad you're okay. She's like, oh, you're gonna have to, you call her, you should call her, and you have to tell her. I was like, no. She's like, yeah, no, you're right. No, don't tell her that now. Now's not a good time. She's having a thing. She's going through a hard time with her dog, and I do totally fucking appreciate where she's at with her dog, and reflecting back on it now, like knowing that her tears, the emotionality in her voice, over her dog that she's had for like 16 years that's dying. The dog is okay, though, I guess, at the moment, or was this morning. She was able to bring it home from the vet, and it's like comfortable, but it's this dog is on its way out, and she's not she's not having a good time with it. She's really upset, and it's really sad, and I feel for her. My heart goes out to her. But yeah, it's like when you have a dog, you have to assume that responsibility. You take on that responsibility. You know that a dog is only going to live about 1/6 of the time that you will generally live, on this earth. And we take that, responsibility when we, allow a dog into our lives. Or, any number of household pets, I guess. But I think, denial is a powerful thing. Never underestimate the power of denial. And we put it off, we don't want to think about it. We don't want to think about, having to put down our pets. We don't want to have to think about going to our parents' funerals. We sure as hell don't want to think about burying our children. But these things do happen. For some, they happen more than others. And all we can do, really, is just try to be our best selves in that moment, and try to think about what we can do that will help us get through that without having, inevitably feeling worse about the situation, but like try to keep in mind, like stay mindful of like, what would they want, like respect their thoughts and wishes and understandings. Does it make sense to to send somebody off that dies of an overdose by getting fucking wasted on smack. If somebody fucking dies in a drunk driving accident, like, should we get a keg and fucking get shit-faced? Fucking howl at the moon? I mean, I've done both of those things to commemorate, like, the loss of friends and family. And I'm not proud of either. I think it's better to be, to be available, to be on point, to be not like in charge, like you don't want to overdo it. I've seen people do that shit too, and that's just as sick, really, and damaging. It's just another form of denial. You just gotta show up for what it is, and yeah, it sucks. But know that, you can have some integrity and some nobility and some dignity, in carrying out what needs to be done in a time like that. Whether it's, saying goodbye to your dog, making funeral arrangements for your parents, or, having to, see your child for the last time. There's a way to do it with a quiet dignity. Even a loud dignity. I mean, you don't have to be quiet about it, but you can be dignified in it. Just face it. Don't be a coward, because believe me, you will regret not showing up. Not facing it is worse. I've tried it both ways. They both hurt, but one definitely hurts more. So yeah, all this kind of, it really jarred me. And then, of course I went to work. I was on time, relatively. I mean, I was on pat time. But yeah, it was crazy as fuck, as usual. Come in at 3:00 on a weekday at the store, and it's always crazy. It's stepping into chaos, but it's stretched out till usually it goes until 5, maybe, so about 2 hours. But this went until 7, and I started to realize, everybody got their stimmy. Thanks, Uncle Joe. Everybody got their stimulus checks. And, so people are, stimulating the economy, out there buying stuff, doing things. And it's great, people were in a good mood. I was in a good mood. I mean, I was so fucking relieved, but goddamn, I was just, I don't know. I was really spun by that. Put a lot of things in perspective, as always. But I don't know, I'm grateful. I'm grateful for something like that, because it's kind of like, it's like having a using dream, Like, people sometimes call that a free lapse. Instead of a relapse, it's a free lapse. And the idea is that it's like it's giving you like a sneak preview of how stupid and fucked up, you could be. bad decisions you might make. But in this instance, it's like I was shown like exactly how I could behave in the right way, and I was ready for it. And I mean, of course, like when the time actually comes, who knows? I might fall apart completely and not be as objective as I was somehow capable of being this morning. But just the fact that like I was ready to setting it up so that like I had people on hand that I was going to be able to lean on to help me through. I was like preparing to talk to people at work, communicate to them. I was like being really responsible in my like my step by step in this, just like I had the whole itinerary. I'm glad it was, not necessary, but wow, so much has changed. Well, I hope you all get something out of this, and can reflect on situations that you might have been in or could end up in. It's not comfortable thinking about these kinds of things, but we have to think about these kinds of things because that's life. And I know a lot of people don't experience death in life, as much as I have. I've known death all my life, which is weird. But it doesn't have to be something that's so feared. It's just, it is what it is. So anyway, thanks for listening. Go ahead and if you feel like it, share thoughts, comments, perspectives with me at the Mad City Podcast Facebook page or Instagram. Of course, you can find me, Patrick R. Kempfer, on Facebook. And by the way, I have a website that I'm trying to build, but I'm stupid about that, so I don't know how. If anybody has any experience like creating websites, or actually if anybody's gone to like business school, I could use some tips on how to help. Somebody help me, please. That's all I'm gonna say. Fucking contact me at madcitypodcast.com, Mad City Podcast, Facebook, Instagram, whatever. Yeah, please. I need help. Alright. I love you guys. Have a great day. Till next time. Pat K. Out.
Yo, where the life at? Yeah, I'm needing more. Cause I've never been in a town like this, is such a bore. Yo, we need a moment, but not of silence. Something needs to happen round here cause we're losing vitals. Let's cause a riot out here cause we need to turn it up. Let's cause a fire cause this town is cold, let's burn it up. So let's start the attack, running through the city like maniacs. Inside town now